Hello, welcome to the Homeschool Mommy Mentor. I'm your host, Donna Goff, and I'm here to talk to you today about giving your child an edge in life. Now, what is the edge? The edge is an acronym that stands for edify, develop, grow, and engage. These are basic things that children of preschool age would benefit greatly from. So, what do I talk about edify? Well, we need a central core. We need to learn a sense of right from wrong, truth from error. And when we edify a child, we teach them to pray. We teach them that there is a higher power than themselves that they are accountable to. Uh, we teach them faith based songs, Bible verse memorization, service, Bible stories. These help build their inner core of who they are, to know where they can go for strength and help. So we teach them, we we edify them. The second thing that we need to do is to help them develop. Now, we know about IQ. Development isn't IQ per se. Development I'm talking about is both physical of the body, your gross muscle control, gross motor development, your ability to walk, to balance, to sit still, your fine motor, being able to use your fingers, etc., your visual pathway development, and your executive function. Now, executive functions your internal CEO. It's your ability to set a goal, make a plan for that goal, organize your time, your skills, your tools, etc., to work toward that goal and to be able to finish working toward that goal. It includes things like working memory, uh, delayed gratification. It develops things like your attention span and your visual pathways. It deals with risk management, learning what things are, where uh, risks lie that are appropriate, that you can control fear and those kinds of things through your risk management. Children are constantly pushing the envelope to see what their boundaries are. And that's part of that risk management. Another thing that deals with executive function is impulse control. A child is sent to their room to clean. Their impulse control is still pretty raw, young, isn't quite developed yet, and they see a toy that they like and they get totally distracted and they're playing with the toy. It's not a matter of disobedience, it's a matter of their impulse control isn't developed yet. Another part of executive function would be emotional self regulation, to not fall apart and get all emotional about something, to be able to control that. Those things come with maturity. And so when we talk about develop, we're talking about developing that executive function. We're also talking about developing their heart. And when I say heart, I'm not talking about the physical part, although through exercise and the play that they get a lot of heart pumping and it helps that, but it's also developing their emotions, if you will, that part of the heart, and their self-control, their brain, their body. And we do that with family work, family play, and service, helping them establish good habits, as well as imaginative and dramatic play and vigorous vestibular activity. And what is the vestibular? It's the five balance systems in your brain, and they're developed on the playground, not in the classroom. And they're really essential for being self-regulating and having those executive functions. They found that through vigorous play, you can improve executive function by about 40%. And so, what are some of those things that help them develop um, those five balance centers in the brain and the senses? Well, running, climbing, crawling, jumping, spinning, sliding, brachiating, which is overhead hanging ladder, balancing, they integrate the brain and help develop the attention span. And one thing you might not realize is for children, their attention span is about their age in minutes. So if they're 3, you're talking 3 minutes. If it's something that they're really interested in, it may be a minute or two longer. It can be even longer, 15 to 30 minutes, if they're engaged with other children doing the same thing and they're interested. It can be even less if it's something that is not self-chosen. That's why when developmental psychologists talk about play, play is self-chosen, it's self-directed, it's self-guided, it's interest-led. It is not mom making academics playful. It is actually the child using another part of their brain because they're choosing out of interest to do something, and it activates other parts of their brain and helps them focus. So edify, develop. The next part is grow. What do we need to grow? Well, we need sunshine and good food and good sleep and fresh air and exercise. Wholesome food, uh, nutrient dense foods. I distinguish between treats and snacks. A snack to me is a small meal in between meals that when our blood sugar drops, we want to eat something that will help sustain us until the meal. Whereas a treat is usually sugary and it's a special occasion. It shouldn't be something for every day. And we should never confuse our children with the idea that a treat is a snack and a snack is a treat. So I didn't go out and buy a bunch of junk food for my children to have snacks, even healthy junk food, um, because most of that stuff is treats, not really a snack. So you want to go for nutrient dense things like veggies or nuts or a boiled egg or some cheese, and to help get them across to the next meal. You want them to have the opportunity for good sleep, fresh air, and sunshine. The next area is engage. Engage your child's heart, mind, and imagination through shared stories, family history stories, nursery rhymes, singing children's songs and folk songs, visiting museums, and going to the zoo, exploring the world around you with your child, gardening with them, doing handicrafts, and experimenting on new knowledge. Even young children can be taught things like hat looming. A friend of mine, while she was reading aloud to her children, and the youngest was 3, she had taught them how to hat loom. And so they were hat looming hats to give to the needy during the winter in the homeless shelters while mom was teaching them. Their hands were busy. And that improves their manual dexterity for writing and things later on. So again, uh, EDGE is edify, develop, grow, and engage. It's a very simple formula for children who are not yet of school age. And read to your children aloud, even after they learn how to read well. Speak descriptively, use color and size, direction, time language, and quantity. This builds their vocabulary, builds their reference for understanding and context needed for later math and science. And of course, when you read aloud to them, as my children got older, I got them books that I was reading to them, and they had the book and they were reading along, and they would see words that were not really phonetic that came into our language from other languages, and it would build their vocabulary because they use the word, they just never seen it. And so when they see the word, when I'm reading it, it's like, aha. And one way we do that is through scripture study. Everybody has their own scriptures and they're following along. And so um, that is one of the things that we did for engaging. And I recommend this in Edge, the Edify, Develop, Grow, and Engage will really help your children prepare for learning. And it will lay a foundation of a love of learning for them. It's not force, it's not full of busy work, it's not seat work, it's not drudgery. It is just about being excited about life and learning. Thank you for your time today. Please, if you've enjoyed this time with us, subscribe below, share it with your friends. Just click on the bell and you'll get notifications, or join my newsletter on mentoringourown.com. The link is on my YouTube page. Or you can also join my Facebook group, Mentoring Our Own, and there you can ask questions. Thank you so much and enjoy the journey.